Welcome back to ChessGoals YouTube. In this video I'm going to give you an update on our 1e4 course. It's been 2 months since the last update and I've made a lot of progress. Alright, so there's 10 chapters total in this course. Chapters 1 through 4 involve e4, e5, and the first 3 chapters are all on the Scotch. That's knight f3, knight f6, followed by d4. Chapter 1 is after e takes d, knight takes d4, and we see bishop to c5 on the 4th move. So that's the whole first chapter. That's going to be about 10% of your games as white in terms of club level play. And each chapter is supposed to be right around 10%. So that's the goal. Chapter 2 is knight to f6 on move 4. And this is the second most popular move, equally as popular probably as bishop to c5. So that gets its own chapter. And then other Scotch sidelines are going to be chapter 3. So any move here that's not knight f6 or bishop to c5 falls into chapter 3. So it's Scotch sidelines. And then moving to chapter 4, we have king pawn sidelines. So that's going to be moves like knight to f6, the Petrov, or pawn to d6, the Philidor. We'll look at f5 and d5, the elephant and the Latvian gambits. All of that's covered in chapter 4. So we got 4 chapters, all on e4, e5. And then moving to chapter 5 and 6, we go through the Sicilian. So that's e4, c5, and we're going to recommend pawn to c3, called the c3 Sicilian or the Alpine Sicilian. The idea with this system is it's a little bit offbeat, but we're going to play d4 with the c pawn defending the d pawn. And this is going to tend to give us a pawn chain, c3, d4, e5, all of these pawns pointing at the black king, and that gives us good attacking chances, and we get to play very positionally, and we're going to keep that same style not only in the Sicilian but also in the French defense, where we play the advanced variation. So those chapters, Sicilian and French, are going to work well together, and sometimes they will transpose. So chapter 5 is going to cover when black plays knight to c6 on move 2, and also when black plays pawn to d5 on move 2. So all of that's covered in chapter 5. And then in chapter 6, we're going to look at the other options for black on move 2. The most common being d6 and knight to f6, but we will also look at pawn to e5 and pawn to g6. So all of those are covered in chapter 6. All right, so we got 4 chapters that go over 1e5 for black, 2 chapters that go over the Sicilian, and then going into chapter 7, we have the French defense, which is e6 on move 1. This is the 3rd most popular move after the king pawn 1e5 and the Sicilian 1c5. So we're going to have a whole chapter on the French, and for this we're recommending the advanced variation, which is going to work very well with the c3 Sicilian. Moving on to chapter 8, we have the Caro-Kann, e4, c6, d4, d5, and keeping a similar theme, we're going with the advanced variation in the Caro-Kann as well. So we keep grabbing that space with pawn to e5. And we have a Caro-Kann course for black, so I think you guys are going to enjoy our recommendation from the white side, how to beat the Caro. Chapter 9, we go into the Scandinavian, e4, d5, and I'm going to kind of recommend a mainline Scandinavian because I think that we can get a nice advantage, but there's going to be a small wrinkle that we're going to see with pawn to h3. And that's something that your opponents aren't going to expect, and we're going to have a nice advantage against the Scandi. The last chapter covers other first moves, so that's chapter 10, and it's going to primarily focus on the Perk and the Modern, but also look a little bit at the Alekhines defense as well. So all of that's covered in chapter 10. Now I know what you guys are wondering, when is this course finally coming out? The goal is to get this course released in the first week of the new year. And the course is going to have the full PGN file available for purchase in the new year. And then Jesse and I are going to start cranking through the videos, and those will be published onto the website, onto your Google Drive directory as they are completed, and in Discord we will let you guys know when all those new videos are created. The other thing we're going to do for this course, just like we did for the Slav course, is we're going to have sort of a pre-sale where you can buy the course before the videos are ready at a discounted rate, and then once all the videos are ready, that price will go back up to our regular course price. But you'll have that window of time where you can purchase the PGN file knowing that you'll get the videos as they're released. Alright, so I'm really excited for this E4 course. We just did a poll on YouTube, what's your preferred first move to play as white? E4 and D4 were exactly tied with a lot of people voting. We already have the D4 course, which has been selling really well. Now we're going to have an attacking E4 course, and it's almost ready to go. I'm very excited to publish this course. I've already used some of the openings in over-the-board chess and in blitz chess, and I'm having a lot of fun with these lines. So, E4 course coming soon in the new year. Stay tuned. We will have announcements in our email list and on Discord, and I will probably put an announcement at least in the community tab on YouTube, or maybe even do a short video just letting you guys know that it's ready to go. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.